What's up, everyone? It's your host, Joanne.
And Jiselle.
Just two sisters on a podcast, here to discuss any and everything with you.
Yes.
So, welcome to your morning cup with Joe
and Jiz. Let's get into it. But before we do get into it, I wanted to ask you about, or I wanted to start a little segment in the beginning of every podcast show, and basically either rant or rave about anything that happened within this past week.
Okay.
So if you have a rant to rant about, or if you want to, rave about something, go ahead.
Okay. Well, my rave or highlight of the week was going to Big Bear.
That's right. Yes.
Because that was our first time going to the snow this season, but also the first time Jordan saw snow or has been in snow.
Mm-hmm.
And then her tubing, that was a good one. I was probably more scared than she was. Like, I thought the tube would flip over and she'd just roll down the freaking hill. But no, she like totally loved it.
She loved it.
She was like, I want to go again. I want to go again.
Yeah. And you did it too,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, right. We all did. Ryan did it too. So, I mean, yeah, that was probably my highlight of the week. Like, actually, like, I'm glad she like loved it.
Mm-hmm.
She was like so excited about it and was like raving about it the whole ride back home and how she wants to go back. So yeah, that was my highlight. I'm glad she got to be in snow and stuff. So
and see it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that might be like a new like yearly thing for us.
Yeah,
going up there.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
And then probably my only rant is that we paid $45 for tubing and it was only for 90 minutes.
Yeah. What?
Like, what is
and
that?
And it takes like 10 minutes to walk up the hill.
Yeah. Even with the little elevator thing, whatever that's called. But yeah, you guys, $45.
Yeah, so
for 90 minutes.
It's getting very expensive out there.
Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. And then there's other places that you have all day. A little more expensive, but at least it's all day.
Mm-hmm.
But we know now. But she had fun, so that's all I care about.
Yeah, exactly.
So. And then, what about you? Any highlights or rants for this week?
I guess, yeah, Big Bear was a big one, just because mainly it was our sister, Otto Jen, who, like, that one was the one that, like, really caught me off guard, because her being down to even try snowboarding, I was like, oh, you want to try? Okay. Yeah. Like, that was really fun. And the fact that she enjoyed it and wants to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, being able to bring.
And the fact that she's, like, natural.
Yeah. Like, she picked it up really fast.
How she was all natural about it. Like, excuse me?
Yeah. My bad. Okay. But, no, it's fun. So, like, it makes the hobby itself even more fun when other people are into it too.
Right, yeah.
So that one was really fun. But yeah, other than that, for this last week, yeah, that was probably the best part.
All right. So 2023.
Yes, welcome.
Welcome.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. 2022 seemed long but fast at the same time.
Oh, very fast.
Right? Like, I felt like it was just going, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 2023.
Exactly.
And now we're in the new year.
Mm-hmm.
If you've watched the intro, then you know why we're kind of doing this. So, getting into it, I want to know, what are your 2023 goals? Or goal.
Or goal. Right? Yeah.
Goal or goals.
Yeah, exactly. I never really liked making resolutions or goals, I guess. I like to call them wishes. Just, like, if it doesn't happen, no pressure.
Right.
And for some reason this year I took it really serious. I wanted to really focus on, I guess, manifesting like good things for this new year to come. So I really specified, okay, I have my personal goals, I have my work goals, and then I have like finance goals of the year.
Okay.
So
you divide it into like categories.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect, perfect.
I just thought, the more detailed you are into like what you want, the more exact it'll be, the whole manifestation thing.
Yes. Okay.
So starting off with like any personal goals of mine, I like overall, I just want to take better care of myself. Like you said, 2022 was like so fast, you know, like I just wasn't able to catch a routine and then stick to it. So I want to, like all my routines, like a workout routine, my skincare routine, all that, I want to be strict on it.
Like hone in on it.
Exactly. Yeah. And then with that being said, I feel like that will balance out my work-life balance, because I felt like last year I just worked so much, like all that was on my mind was working, you know, making money and all that.
But you also were in school.
That was 2021.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, see?
So fast.
See how it like all merges.
Yes.
I could have sworn you were still in school last year.
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
wow. Okay, never mind.
So it was a lot of change for me last year. So this year I really want to focus on myself, you know, like taking care of myself and all that. And then, and then going on to my work goals and wishes for the year. Mainly, I just wanted at my job right now. I love my job. I love my boss, the company, and all of that. So right now, my goal is to finish learning all the services that they offer, because I am an esthetician, so I do waxing and facials and all that. So I'm trying to just get everything down. Like,
so what other services are there?
So I have to learn like lash lift or like eyebrow lamination.
Oh, okay.
Like little things, like a booty buff type of thing, you know, like stuff. So I want to make sure I have all that down, just so I know, you know. And then finally, my finance goals. I guess my biggest wish, like that's like, oh, shoot for the stars type deal, is to be a homeowner this year. That's my biggest wish, but most likely that's not going to happen.
Probably not this year.
Yeah, probably not this year.
You know, you can like work towards that.
Exactly, with like baby steps, as in like paying off my credit card debt. And I really want to finish paying off my car loan this year. And then doing that, it'll just like open up all these bills, or you know, all the money that I'd be putting into that, I'd be putting into savings after I pay it off.
Right. Oh, perfect. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's my goal. Hopefully I have a decent amount of an emergency savings fund saved up, and no more debt.
Right.
By the end of the year.
Because they say your emergency fund should be 3 times your monthly expenses, right? Okay.
Yeah, they say at least 3, but Neil and I were trying to get 6.
At least 6.
At least 6, yeah.
Well, yeah, because you guys have 2 incomes, so.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah. Other than that, simple.
Well,
hoping for the best for 2023.
Okay, so 2022, looking back, what are your best of 2022 and then your worst of 2022, if you had any?
That's a good question. Just because it flew by so fast, it's really hard to just pinpoint all those specific areas, I guess. Well, first of all, it was I quit my old job last year, and then I started this new career. So that was probably one of the best decisions I've made in the past 6 years. Yeah. You know? So that was a lot. It was very nerve-wracking just because, you know, like leaving a secure job and then gambling, you know, basically seeing.
Because you're so familiar with what you're,
Exactly. So doing that was like pretty nerve-wracking, but having the support of, you know, everyone around me, it really helped me to do that push. And now I'm way happier, you know, like so.
Makes a difference when you're happy at a job.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, big difference.
Because it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah, exactly. So that was probably the like number one thing on my list that happened last year. Other than we started traveling again, so that was really fun. Yeah, we went to Alaska and Puerto Vallarta with the family. So just getting back into the whole traveling groove again after the whole COVID thing.
Right.
Yeah. So that one was really fun. And then, yeah, like I said, overall, just mentally happier. Like I can sleep at night. It's just, yeah.
Well, because you did graveyard for years.
Exactly.
So now you're like on a regular schedule.
Yeah, exactly. So just overall, I feel like very healthier and happier just within the year. you
Yeah.
know? And then I guess going into like the worst of 2022, which isn't really a lot that I like think about it because I went through so much change. The only thing I can really think of is that I did like let myself go a little bit, like in the sense of not taking care of myself, like going through all this change. So I'm like focused on that, not myself, just all that. So that's why this year I really want to focus on myself now.
Okay. Yeah, because you were doing those workouts.
Yes.
With that one.
With the tonal
with
machine.
the tonal machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then you kind of just like phased
Let it go.
out.
Yeah. Like I kept letting the excuse of like, oh, I have to, I have to get used to this new job first and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
So now I'm almost there for a year. I should have a routine by now.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
But I think it was a lot though because you were still working your old job at the casino, and then you were getting into this new job, and then still having to train there, which you didn't have like a regular schedule there yet because you were training.
yeah, and I was training for like 2 months.
Yeah, and then also you were working from home, like your business. You have the Gisthetics.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I think you were juggling all three, and then when you let one go, then you were still trying to figure out, I think, like your routine for home and then routine for work.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like learning to balance both. But you were doing the same things, but it's also like you're working off two schedules.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's kind of, it's hard when you're working off two schedules and then to make time for yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So yeah. Yeah. And then, so other than that, other than spending way too much money last year, I just need to stop. I want to save. I want to like grow this year.
Right.
Yeah.
Like financial
growth. Yes.
Yeah. I think we always think we don't spend too much money, and then you look back at everything and you're like, did I really need that?
Exactly.
And then you're like, no.
Yeah. I had started budgeting, which was a bad idea. I started budgeting the month of December with all the gifts and stuff, but it really is like an eye opener on like what you spend your money on and everything. So yeah, I'm already starting that. I'm keeping track of all my finances, making sure I don't spend whatever I don't need to. But yeah, overall, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go.
Awesome. And
right.
what about you? What do you have any 2023 wishes?
Let's see. Well, first, of course, it would be to have a successful podcast.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
one of my goals.
Oh yeah.
Because it's, me and you doing it, and then I feel like it's something like I've not always, but within the last 6 months wanted to do. So I'm hoping for it to succeed. And that way maybe can lead to other things, open the doors for other stuff. Like I see the people on like Instagram or the LTK where it's like they do like the try on outfits for, and then kind of do that, build off of that. Cause I'm like, hey, from what I mostly see, it wasn't until like I really started looking on like Instagram and stuff that you don't really see, a lot of influencers. It's kind of always like one size. That's being shown to the world and to the public.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, oh, well, and then I always see like, oh, I kind of relate to her body shape. I'm like, that's pretty cool that, there's somebody now that's doing that.
Exactly.
Before, when I was younger, it was always more geared towards the fitter, So that, and then hopefully maybe, get Jordan into social media on social media, but also still kind of hesitant about that.
Oh yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Just social media itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then another goal is eventually hopefully work towards like being my own boss. So maybe doing like courses for like the non-invasive body contouring stuff like that I was talking about.
Okay, so you wanted to get in the medical aesthetics
Yeah.
of it all?
So like maybe like Botox injections or like laser or like the permanent makeup.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've seen like people, you know, just create their own business, and then it's, you know, I'm working for myself, working my hours that I want to work, and then still be there for Jordan when she, you know, be able to bring her to school, pick her up from school.
Exactly.
And then do activity like her, you know, if she decides she wants to do like sports or something, you know,
You'll
be
have
able
the
to be
time.
there. Yeah. And then just schedule around that versus scheduling her around my work, you know?
Exactly. Yes.
And then maybe start doing like photography, because I do want to be like doing portraits, or maybe even like helping. I'm all about women empowerment, so maybe do something like I forget what it's called, it's on the tip of my tongue, but the ones that like empower the women and, you know, show off their best
selves.
curves
Yes.
and whatever they want to show
yes.
off, like that kind of photography. And also like doing family portraits or portraits, stuff like that. And then on beginning of the year, our older sister, she did a tarot or card reading, right?
Yeah.
So that, I mean, I don't not believe it, and I'm not like 100%, oh my gosh, you know?
Yeah.
But
it's interesting. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So just kind of some of the cards that was shown for me, how it was like, don't, one of the cards was, it meant like, don't hesitate on what you think, like, don't hesitate on doing something.
Yeah.
And it was, you could take the easy way or the hard way, but don't turn back, don't hesitate, because when you get to the end, it's like it's great.
Yeah, you'll find what you're looking for, basically.
So I kind of feel like I kind of started that already, leaving my security job, which was my job that I've had for like 4 years, you know, and then just leaving, and then just venturing out into these new things that I want to do. So it's kind of like, okay, so my goal is to not hesitate, be more confident in myself, and more confident that what I'm doing is gonna benefit me and my family.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And then another one was just open my heart, not to just like you guys, but I guess open my heart to more people. And to myself. So that was kind of, I was like, oh, I didn't even realize that I could be closed off, you know? So another goal of mine is to just let it be open.
Yeah.
You know, love myself more, more self-care, because I feel like I'm always worried about everybody else and maybe need to worry about myself more.
Yeah.
And then, and also not be so hard on myself with like weight, and if I'm a good mom, am I a good, you know, sister, am I a good daughter, you know, just not be so hard on myself. And then don't allow negative energy to dictate my mood is a big one.
Yeah.
And then just, my goal eventually is to be a homeowner as well, but I know it's not gonna happen this year.
Yeah.
You know, working towards paying off bills and debt, you know, everything, school loans, all that. But so I did make a small financial goal, not really small, but my goal is to at least save 10 G's by the end of the year.
Nice. Yeah.
So then that way I could put that away and then start over again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. So how do you feel about 2022? Did you feel like it was rough, or what was your favorite moments?
I feel like, geez, 2022 I felt was so long in the beginning, and I was like, why is January, February, March so long? And then all of a sudden it hit October, and then we're in January 2023. Yeah. You know? So I'm like,
Where's the time?
But
go?
I think the best part of 2022 was that we were able to actually go places.
Like traveling?
Yeah.
Or like just go out?
Not even just go out, like, because I'm an introvert, so I like being home.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, be able to go places. Like, we went to our friend's wedding in Denver.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And then we went to Puerto Vallarta, family trip. This was like 3 years in the making.
Yeah.
You know, we were supposed to go back then. And then be able to, like, go to Disneyland and do Universal with Jordan, and how she enjoyed it. And it wasn't like pandemic Disneyland or pandemic Universal where, you know, like, we got to be able to be free and walk around and not have, like, limitations.
Yeah, exactly.
Is, I think, was, like, the best part of 2022. And then another thing was being able to pay off some debt. So that's, like, another, you know, moving forward towards financial goals. So I was able to pay off some debt. And then also, probably the best part was leaving the workplace that I did leave. I do miss the people that I work with, but just not being there is like a weight lifted off of my shoulders.
Ooh, girl.
You know?
Yep. I am there with you.
Excuse me. And then, yeah. And then I would say worst was probably staying there.
Staying at the job?
Yeah. I probably should have left in 2021. But I was like, you know, I love the people that I work with, love my doctor. So it's kind of like, and then also the comfort.
Like being comfortable there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because it was routine. I knew what I was going to do every day. So it was that. And then just, it was like comfortable, and it was security. And I knew like a paycheck was coming, you know?
The same amount every time.
Yeah. So it's every time. Yeah. But it just got so repetitive and just so like
automatic.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, okay. It's just like being repetitive. It's a good thing, but it's like overkill. Like nothing was different. It's the same thing every day. Go to work, be in traffic, come home, be in traffic. It was just repetitive
Very
stuff.
Mundane.
Yeah. And then just being with some of the people that I worked with, it was just not supportive, you know? So it was just like, I would probably say the last year, like, I was not happy. So I'm glad. Like, that was probably the worst of 2022 is me staying.
But what, if you don't mind going into it, like what, because you said the people you're fine with, like your coworkers, your doctors, they were okay.
Yeah, right.
What it was
more of like,
you didn't have satisfaction with your work, or
I know I had satisfaction in my work, but it's you know, with the pandemic, and I'm sure all healthcare workers will agree with me, with the pandemic, some of our patients have like gotten like meaner, you know, like feeling entitled and feeling like me, and it's like there's a process, you know, like you can't, like, as much as we want to help you, there is a line, and there is like a step that has to happen, you know. So that, like, I feel like patients were like got meaner, more rude, and just that was one part of it. And then, like, but don't get me wrong, we had some of the best patients, you know, but overall,
majority
was they were just meaner. They just expected a lot more and felt entitled, you know, and then would just like scream and yell at you, and it's like, I'm trying to help you.
Yeah.
And then just no support from like management or lack of communication.
You know? Yeah.
And it was just ongoing. And in reality, we should have left when we all were like talking about it.
Oh, all of you guys.
All three of us. Yeah, the
okay.
two other ones that I was working with. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm happy now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you're still working a part-time job, just
Yeah.
less.
Just to, I mean, we still need money, but
Yeah.
it's on my terms. It's when I want to work. It's when, you know, I'm able to drop off Jordan, pick Jordan up, and be home with her. And yeah, so overall, it's great.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. It's always
Yeah.
best to leave that like toxic environment for sure.
Yeah. But honestly, I thought one of your goals was going to be get better at snowboarding.
Oh, I am better already. Just kidding. No, like with that and like bowling and all that, that's more of like hobbies that Neil and I do together. Because a long time ago, I remember getting asked, "Oh, like what do you and Neil do? You know, like for fun or whatever." And I couldn't think of anything other than watch TV or you know go out to eat. So ever since then, we started trying to find activities to do together, and then that's when snowboarding came into play. And then when that season stopped, we were like, okay, what do we do now? So we picked up bowling.
Okay, yeah.
So it is like when we are doing those activities, it is we do have that mindset of, okay, what can I improve on today? You know, on both bowling and snowboarding, but it's not to the point where we're stressing about it outside.
Yeah.
Like in our regular lives, you
like,
know?
oh God, I should have done this.
Exactly.
Okay,
No, yeah, it's more of like
just something fun.
Just something fun and to get away from real life,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah. Like your escape.
Exactly. So I'm glad we got into it. Like it's great. He loves it, obviously.
Yeah.
But that is where we spent a lot of our money on the gear, on all that. Yeah. So,
but then see, now you have all your gear, so you shouldn't have to spend money anymore on
the last time we went with all of us, we didn't spend anything other than the dinner.
Okay.
So,
yeah. See?
Yeah. It's an investment.
Yeah. Any hobby, I feel like, is an investment. So
exactly.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Thank you for joining us today. Hope you enjoyed what we talked about. Probably boring for you guys, but we'll get more into it. We just wanted to, beginning of the year, so wanted to set our goals, manifest it.
Yes, exactly.
Manifest our goals.
Yes.
But we'll get more interesting, I promise.
Yeah, we'll get more into the gossip.
But we do hope that you enjoyed your morning cup of Joe
and Jiz. And don't forget to like and subscribe and to follow us on all our social medias. The tags will be at Cup of Joe and Jiz. But everything will be down in the description box over on the YouTube video. So thanks again. It was fun.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.